Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tiltingground Untitled Notre Dame USC football podcast. I'm Michael Muto. I'm here with Greg Flamong. Hi, Greg.
Michael, we're back.
We're back. It's season 2.
It's time.
The people have been clamoring for this. I had multiple people ask me when the podcast was coming back, and only one of them was related to me.
That's fantastic. I'm clamoring for this. I'm ready.
Ugh,
I miss football so much.
I can't wait. Now,
I mean, between like the stupid election and like the Olympics and everything, it's just I'm ready to go. I need football back in my life.
summer break is over.
Yes, sir.
So, since we talk about two football teams here,
Two.
Notre Dame and USC, we have not planned this, what team we're going to start with first for our new podcast. This will be the season preview. I'm going to flip a coin. We'll go heads for Notre Dame, tails for USC. Let's see what happens. It is heads, so Notre Dame is first.
We are up.
So where do we start, Greg? I mean, everyone who's listening knows the season preview can only start in one place. Players getting arrested.
Players getting arrested. I have to say, it's very impressive to get 6 players arrested in one night in 2 separate incidents.
That was pretty impressive. I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
Great. So I woke up, I guess it was Saturday morning. I woke up and first thing I do is check Twitter, and I saw a story is Devin Butler is arrested. And I thought, oh, this is not good, because he's a corner who's injured, though. He has a broken foot, so he wasn't going to be back till October anyway. So it's like, oh, Devin Butler, like he's a senior, and from what he's not a trouble kid. He's never been a problem for the program or anything. He's not like a character issue. So it's like, oh, like my first thought was, I mean, like, drunk driving or something.
Some kid mistake.
Yeah. And then I continued to scroll, and it's 5 Notre Dame players arrested, and I thought, what? Like, wait a second. I thought it was just Devin Butler, and then I see the names. Max Redfield, Dexter Williams, Ashton White, Kevin Stefferson, and I'm missing one.
Linebacker.
Tavon Coney. And I'm thinking, okay, that's terrible. Like, all these guys were supposed to play this year. And, and so then I just kind of pieced it together. Like, Devin Butler is separate. Like, completely, he was not with the 5. And they got pulled over for marijuana possession. And I guess there was an unregistered firearm in the car
For protection, I'm sure.
For something. So they all arrested. The 5, they're all misdemeanors.
So what I've heard today, if my news is correct, is Butler and Redfield are gone.
Redfield is gone. Butler is indefinitely suspended.
Ah, okay.
They are waiting on, because Butler hasn't been officially charged yet. The internet, there's kind of conflicting stories about how it all went down on his end. His
how
is
he,
like
how he fought with the police officer.
Yeah, like that. So I think it's like you're indefinitely suspended. If you end up getting charged, those will be felonies. And per Notre Dame policy, if you are charged with a felony, you are kicked out of school. So, yeah. And then the other 4 are just kind of like in limbo.
Brian Kelly.
Yeah, Brian Kelly issued a statement today basically saying, like, he was very upset, for lack of a better way to put it. And it was, look, you're going to get punished within the program, but you're also subject to whatever discipline the school gives to you, and whatever you get is what you get. So,
I do like that Brian Kelly seems mad. I mean, that's a good look for football after this offseason.
If you read his statement, I mean, it's like, it reads like he is so pissed. So angry, and it's like our friend Tim likes to say, play dumb games, win dumb prizes.
All right. Well, that's the hot news from Notre Dame. Let's just
So
jump right
yeah,
in. Meet
I
the
mean, it is
offense.
it is apropos because like it's right on time because every year there has to be something, whether it's like a rash of injuries or an arrest or someone getting kicked out of school for like academics. Every
A
year,
dubious start to the season.
yes, for like the last 6 years, this has been going on.
I
So
mean,
fantastic.
at least they get it done early.
Yeah, I mean, with Alize Jones, the starting tight end, getting academically ineligible, um, that's 7 guys just not a part of it.
That's
All gonna
terrible.
play. All gonna play. Fantastic.
So there's no better place to start than one of the things Notre Dame has in common with USC, and that's quarterback controversy.
Quarterback controversy.
Break it down for me. So Brian Kelly said this week that he's going to play both of them.
Yeah,
That's awful.
it's gonna be terrible. It's the more I think about it, when it first came out, I was like, all right, like I tried to talk myself into it, and then I heard the two guys talk, and no, they both hate it. Malik Zaire has no understanding of what's going on. He totally feels like this is a personal affront to him, um, and I totally can see why he does. I mean, he's a senior.
He seems
He
like a
lost his.
fiery guy too.
Oh, this is going to be a huge problem. I'm telling you. Like that, and the funny thing is, it's like they're not even pretending to be friends. They're not like buddies. It's not like, oh, we're on each other's side and we're trying to work it out. None of that. Like both of these guys feel like it's their job and they don't want any part of this. And I don't know how you go through a whole season trying to juggle this situation.
It can't be good. No
No.
one's ever seen it work out.
The only thing that gives me kind of hope is usually it's a case where you have two guys who are either like one is the drop back guy and one is the runner, or B, like they're both kind of mediocre, and you're trying to decide which one kind of is more ready or which one it kind of gives you like a better chance or whatever. Like USC situation, like they're both not that great, but one is a senior and one is an unproven freshman. So it's like you don't really know what you have in either one. You're trying to make the best guess. In this situation, you know that both of these guys can play. Like they're both good, and everyone agrees that they're both good. So I can't recall a situation where you had two quarterbacks who you knew were really good and could like win games.
I mean, it was kind of like Ohio State last year, but even these guys are better than Cardell Jones, JT O'Sullivan, and Braxton Miller.
JT Barrett.
What? Yeah, that's what I meant.
I mean, I have met very. I mean, Justin would not approve of you saying JT O'Sullivan.
He's not an offensive lineman for the Saints.
No, no. Um, right, but in that sense, like they're both. I mean, I don't know. I guess Ohio State was a pretty good one, and like while like they ended up winning a bunch of games, like they also had like 17 guys drafted on that team, and
Right.
it also kind of ended up ruining their season, in some sense.
Yeah, their quarterback play was not the best.
Right. So, and like, look, I think, but also like they did end up winning games, and so you had two guys who could play, and it's like they went 11-1. So it's like, yeah, it wasn't the best situation, but it's like when you have two good quarterbacks, that's better than having two mediocre quarterbacks. But I
Do hope.
posted on Twitter, like, we do have to remember that Brian Kelly is a coach that doesn't really know when to go for two. So if his judgment is off in that sense, like juggling a quarterback situation like this is much more difficult.
Yeah, well, he had all the quarterbacks at Cincinnati, I guess, but that was because of injury.
That's injury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like so I fully expect at some point that this quarterback situation is going to end up costing them a game. and it's going to make me sad.
He's got it. I mean, I can't imagine him actually shuffling guys in and out. He's got to just play the hot hand at worst, and at best just stick with. So say he's going to play two and stick with one guy in real life.
Yeah,
That's kind of what I don't know. I mean, we'll see, right?
If you want my opinion, I think it should be Zaire.
Well, let me tell you, because I was poring over the media guide this weekend in preparation.
Okay.
And I would just like to read you the first sentence of the Malik Zaire section. Title, Malik is on fleek.
Oh.
I know. In both cases where Zaire started a game and not been victimized by injury, he has excelled against college football royalty. Oh. That's awful. I mean, it's true, but that's an awful sentence.
I've put this in a couple of articles for UHND. Like, we've never seen Malik Zaire fail.
No, like, he killed Texas. I mean, they didn't stand a chance last year.
He killed Texas. He performed against LSU. He performed against USC when they brought him in, when that game was already over. Like, I don't put too much weight in that, but he didn't play bad. And every time, like, even in like little spring games, like, he always plays well. So.
And he's a lefty.
He's a lefty. He's never turned the ball over. I mean, he's had like, I want to say he's had like 60, 70 passes. Like, he hasn't turned the ball over yet. He hasn't fumbled for a guy who runs the ball all the time. I mean, and look, I feel like if they're even, it should go to the senior. You know, he bided his time. He complained. You know, he wasn't like he didn't take kindly to the bench, but he didn't talk about transferring. He didn't threaten transferring. He said, "I'm going to win the job," and he lost his job because, you know, he got hurt. And Kaiser came in and played well, but he went 8-3. I mean, it's not like he was undefeated.
That's true.
He's 8-3. You know? So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if they're even, then it should be the guy who gives you the added dimension of making a play that you didn't game plan for, you didn't scheme for. It's a play that he just made. And I feel like you need that in college football.
And that's not Deshaun Kaiser?
It's more Malik Zaire.
Wow.
Deshaun Kaiser can do it, but that's less of his game than it is Zaire's game.
So I'm hearing if Greg were in charge, he would have picked Malik Zaire.
If I was in charge, I'd pick Zaire, yeah. If they're even. Like, I'm not at practice.
Right, I mean, with what, yeah.
But if Brian Kelly's telling me that, like, I can't choose, then that lets me know, like, they're even. And if they're even, then I want the guy who is A, a senior and has put his time in, and B, like, he has a dimension that the other one doesn't.
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on quarterback controversy. I'm trying to save some for USC.
Perfect.
So let's move to the next place where Notre Dame has multiple good players. That's running back. So last year they had a freshman perform admirably.
He's our version of Ronald Jones.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with the original starter, Taryn Folsom, he got hurt in the first game of the season, so he's back.
He's back.
And the last year's starter, CJ Prosise, left to the pros. Probably a smart move.
Definitely. Well, yeah, definitely.
For him, personally.
Yeah,
for him,
yeah.
Not for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's got to make you happy. Both those guys look good.
Yeah. I mean, if Dexter Williams wasn't, like, in limbo right now, I'd be super fired up about it.
Oh, it's Josh Adams. I didn't say his name. Whoops.
Oh, yeah, Josh Adams.
That's bad podcasting.
Like, because Dexter Williams, like, he's looked amazing in camp.
Well, this actually kind of works out for Notre Dame because now they have an excuse to not play him.
Who?
Dexter Williams.
Well, but I think he was going to play anyway because, like, look, one of these guys is going to get hurt. Like, either Adams or Folston at some point is going to get hurt. Like, I think Dexter Williams was on track for, like, 60, 70 carries regardless. And the thing about him,
he played as a freshman, right?
He did. And the thing about him is that he can run with power, and he has breakaway speed. So he's kind of like he's the best of both worlds. Folston doesn't have breakaway speed, and Adams doesn't really run with power, just because he's taller. So it's like now that there's three of them, because I have an article coming out soon. Like Notre Dame didn't really have a running back by committee last year. Like when Procyse was healthy, he got all the carries, and then when Procyse was hurt, then Adams got all the carries. Now whoever was in the game played really well, but they never really had like a complementary situation.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment of last year.
Yeah, so I feel like with Williams, he can complement either one of those guys. So now that he is in limbo, like we don't know if it's a game, we don't know if it's four, we don't know if it's the whole season. Like the guy behind him is a freshman, Tony Jones Jr., who's looked really good, but he's like Tarian Folston is. So what happens if Adams goes down and it's just Folston? It's like, well, then you don't have like a big play. You don't have anyone like a big play player in the backfield now. And that kind of makes me think even more so, like maybe they should have Malik Zaire at quarterback because you need that extra pop in the running game. Like he's more of a threat. Read options and stuff.
Kaiser can run, but I see what you're saying. Zaire's like a real runner.
Yeah, like he's more prone to like the big play. So it's like I feel like you need that threat in the backfield because they don't have Will Fuller anymore. You know, they don't have him at receiver.
Well, and we know they like to run designed quarterback runs.
They do.
It bothered me all of last year,
and this year they can really do it because you have someone right waiting. If something happens, you know, it's like, okay, we'll put in the other guy.
That's true. I mean, that might be their plan, just run both these guys into the ground.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I'm fine with it. So, yeah.
All right, well, a question mark for the Notre Dame offense is wide receiver.
Yeah.
The aforementioned Will Fuller is gone. Chris Brown is gone. The only returning starter is Torrey Hunter Jr., who, he's all right. I don't know. He never really wowed me last year.
Right.
But the up-and-comers, we had C.J. Sanders, who returned kicks, who he looked good when he had the ball in his hands.
He's apparently amazing right now out of the slot, by the way.
Hey.
That's the scuttlebutt.
Is where he should play, or should he play more, or?
No, I mean he's starting at slot right now.
Okay,
so
that's how good he looks. People are impressed.
Yeah.
Got it. And then the other starter is probably, let's see if I can get his name right. Equimanius St. Brown.
Equinemius St. Brown.
Equinemius St. Brown. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. His brother's a big recruit this year, right?
Yeah, he's going to Stanford.
Oh.
It's a bummer. I really like him.
Neither of us are excited about that.
I mean, he could still change his mind. Who knows?
They're kids.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's likely the other starter?
Yeah, that's what it looks like right now.
But that's pretty thin, man.
Yeah, no, it's definitely unknown.
Are there any freshmen who could just jump right in, or no?
Well, Kevin Stefferson, he's one. He was like the talk of the spring because he was an early enrollee. So he would be playing, but maybe now not.
He's busy.
He's doing other things. Like they have a guy like Corey Holmes. He's been in the program a couple of years. I guess he's the fastest receiver on the team. He's from Florida. It's kind of like
Miles Boykin. Was it Miles Boykin?
Boykin.
People are talking like he might break out.
He's a redshirt freshman, and he plays the same position as St. Brown. I mean, he's a big guy. Kind of like people look at him as like a red zone target. They have a lot of like maybes. Like they're really good athletes, and when they were recruited, like everyone's kind of excited. But now that it's like they're being counted on, like I mean, are they really good? Like, we're
gonna find out.
Yeah, like we kind of wish that there was something more proven, and they were kind of taking a few snaps from them instead of getting all the snaps.
But even last year, I felt like receiver after Will Fuller was never really that settled. It could have been a handful of guys who played well or got looks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, but you don't really need it when you have one. Like, it's kind of like USC, right?
right.
Like, I mean, they've got Juju Smith, and he's a star. So, like, when you have that, it's like whoever else is left, it's just kind of like just be just be average, like be dependable. And that like that's kind of the whole question is like how good is Torrey Hunter Jr. going to be? Like, is he going to be like a 70 catch, 1,000 yard, 10 touchdown guy, or is he going to be like a 50 catch, 700 yard, 7 touchdown guy?
It seems more like that, the latter.
The That's kind of the thing. Like, how good are you going to be? And if he's going to be that, then I feel like they need some other guy to be around the same numbers.
I mean,
And it needs to come from somewhere.
Torrey Hunter was playing DB in practice towards the end of last year.
He was. I mean, his dad's like a Hall of Famer, right? Is that true?
Sure, baseball.
Did I make that up? I don't know. He's probably not in the Hall of Fame yet, but I feel like he could be in the Hall of Fame. Either way, his father is a professional athlete. So he's and he's a baseball player himself. Like, he's a good athlete. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I wasn't super. It's funny how like you lose a guy like Dexter Williams, and it kind of puts the whole thing in flux. Like, I feel like I didn't really worry about where the big plays were going to come from, but one of their big play, like two of their big play guys are out, and Alize Jones is out. And it's like, now, I don't know. Like, I felt like they were easily going to be a 35 points a game team, and now I'm kind of hedging on that.
Just because of one guy?
Well, not just him. No. I mean, Dexter Williams, A, Kevin Stepherson, B, Alize Jones, C. Like, all going to play, especially Alize Jones. Like, he's their big 5-star tight end. And now he's definitely not playing because his grades stink.
It's funny that you say that because I was looking for Alize Jones' knee injury all day. I was like, I wonder how he's doing. And now I was like, oh, that's why I couldn't find it.
Yeah, no.
He has bad grades.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I don't know. You need a 1.85 after your second semester and summer school to be eligible. And he is ineligible, so as they say, do the math. So yeah, at least the offensive line is probably going to be good.
Hold on, pause for a second.
Okay.
I hear myself after every time I talk.
Well,
Do you have the sound on your computer or something?
I have nothing on.
I have a plan. Hold on. Let's see if this works.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm in Hangouts, but
Hello?
yeah.
Damn, no, it's still doing it. Let's try something. How about now? No. Way to start the season off right.
Yeah. I can't.
Sure.
I can't hear it. I can't hear it on my end.
Oh yeah, I hear it like perfectly. Let's see. Let's try this. Hello?
Yep.
Nope. Headphones. Let's see. Testing. Why is it
Good.
doing that? Like it's clear. Like hello.
Uh-huh.
Like I could just be talking to myself, and then it comes back.
That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know if it's recorded like that or not. Let's see. Let's try a different head. No. All right, you hang up and come back.
How do I come back? How do I do that?
I think the same. Like, are you on your phone or are you on your computer?
I'm on my computer.
I think if you just come in and come out, you should be able to find it again.
Come in and come
It should
out.
say ongoing call. So you just click on it again.
End call. Should I leave call
Yeah, leave call.
and then do it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Greg left call. I see
Hello?
you.
Is that better?
Let's see. Hello.
Hello?
Wait, you can't talk.
Oh,
I can hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on, I gotta see if I hear myself. I do not hear myself. Okay.
Okay.
Phew. All right. Let's fire this thing back up.
Okay, so we're moving on to the offensive line.
Yeah.
Okay. So you just say 3, 2, 1 or something.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, those are the guys who could catch the ball. So let's go to the blockers, which is always super strong for Notre Dame. Something I'm jealous of.
Yes.
They Mike McGlinchey, is that his name?
Mike McGlinchey. He is
the new
a
left tackle?
hulking human being. Yes.
I liked him better than Ronnie Stanley last year. Watching all the games.
I mean, you have to like him because he's got the face mask with like the single bar like goes down the middle and like the 3 little bars. Like it's the old school. He's got the old school face mask. It's very.
He would have the draft note. Loves to block.
Yeah. Like nasty.
Yeah.
Mauler.
Yeah, I like that about him.
Yeah, all the Pennsylvania terms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
So, yeah, he's left tackle. He moves over from right tackle. Left guard is Quentin Nelson.
Who's also really good, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'll hear probably in every single game at some point like one of the two like left tackle, left guard combinations in the country. Like they'll talk about that every time. The center, Sam Mustipher, he's new. There's a right guard that has yet to be figured out. He's new, and Alex Bars is going to be right tackle, and he's new. So,
well, I mean, they're not new. They've been around the program. It's like
yeah, they've been around the program. They just didn't start last year. I mean, I feel good about it. It should be a really good run blocking line. I think pass blocking might be a little shaky, but I mean, it should be the strongest unit on the whole team, besides like quarterback.
Which might not be the strongest because they don't like each other.
Right. Yeah.
But if the running game gets going and you pass in the right situations and the quarterbacks are on fire, like pass blocking is it can be schemed.
Right. And they've got a really good coach who turns out like offensive linemen in the first round all the time. So, they should be good.
There's definitely a lineage here for Notre Dame offensive linemen.
For sure.
So that sounds like the gist of the offense.
Yeah.
Going into the season, who do you think the best player will be?
I mean,
you have to pick.
I mean, probably. I mean, it'll be hard, like McGlinchey or Nelson, probably. It's hard. Yeah, I mean, because they're like the two best players, like even more so than the quarterbacks. Because the quarterbacks are kind of. I mean, they might be in and out, right? And it's hard for me to say which one because I don't really know. And I feel like those two guys are less likely to be injured by something, knock on wood, than like anyone else. So I feel like they're going to be the ones who are always there.
I really hope that you saying those guys are less likely to be injured is like last year's, if we see Deshaun Kaiser, we're in trouble. last
Yeah,
year's
I
season
did say
preview.
that. I will say this: if we see the third string quarterback Brandon Wimbush, I feel okay about it.
Well, they'll just run all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, but no, I think he's legitimately a good player. Like I'll put it like this: I think he would start at USC.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm hurt by that. So
No,
who's gonna be the breakout star then? Who's the name that no one at Notre Dame's really heard of yet, or didn't get a lot of run last year that we'll be saying a lot this year?
I would say it's either St. Brown or C.J. Sanders.
That
And
makes
people know
sense.
C.J. Sanders, but
He's a return
uh,
guy. I mean, I know what you mean.
yeah, but like it's like on off. It's like he could be a featured player.
Those are
So
safe answers.
yeah, I mean people know Tarian Folston, people know Josh Adams. I would have said Dexter Williams, honestly, but now I don't know. But yeah, I feel like those two guys have a chance.
I think Josh Adams is the player who's gonna have the best season. I think he's gonna break out. I don't know. I like that guy. He just seems like a great running back.
I mean, I don't disagree. I'm afraid he won't get the carries for that to
That
happen.
is true. He might not even be the starter.
Yeah, like yeah, Folston will probably start every game if barring health. He'll be at maybe like 10, 11 carries a game, something like that.
All right. Well, let's flip it to the other side of the ball. Let's go. Let's work our way down. So we'll start with the defensive backfield,
Okay.
who is now short of safety since Max
Yeah.
Redfield has been dismissed, and a corner who was already hurt. So Cole Luke is one of the starting corners. Drew Tranquil, the other starting safety.
Yeah.
And so who are the other two guys? Who's the other safety and who's the other corner? Help me out.
So I think the other corner is going to be Sean Crawford.
Now you liked him last year, and he got hurt.
I have an enormous man crush on this kid. If anything, like if he ever got caught up in like one of these situations, like getting arrested or something, I would be stunned because all he ever talks about is football. He tore his ACL in the fall of last year, and all he talked about was like I miss how the grass felt on my cleat, like on my feet on the cleats, and I was just like, oh my god, like this kid is amazing. Like I honestly think that he is like Adoree Jackson. He's probably like an inch shorter, but he's tough. He's instinctive. He played at one of the best high schools in Ohio. They won the state championship, and he was the star on that team. He went both ways. The only thing about him is he's like 5'8". He's really short. So I have lots of high hopes for him.
This was quite the praise from you.
No, I honestly I love this kid. I think he's freaking awesome. Awesome. Um,
And then is the other safety going to be a true freshman,
the
or
other safety is going to be a true freshman, yes. His
wow,
name is Devin Studstill.
you loved him in the recruiting preview?
I did like him in the recruiting preview. He's been kind of banged up in camp, so he's had like a hamstring problem. They really need to be careful with that now because the guy that backs him up is also a true freshman. And we're talking about Brian Van Gorder's defense that like it took everyone 3 years to learn.
So now you want an 18-year-old kid to figure it out?
Yeah, and like I mean, luckily Devin Studstill was there in the spring, so he's had at least a semester of it. Like I think he's a good player. It just it's freaky. You have a true freshman starting on the road against a team like Texas. So if something happens to him, now you're into another true freshman, and the only person that they might move to kind of provide depth is another true freshman who's playing corner right now. So I don't know. It's just like I guess that's the thing with Max Redfield is like he makes Taylor Mays look like Ronnie Lott in terms
Wow.
of like impact on anything. Like he couldn't be worse signing for this team. So
But I mean, you hated Max Redfield. He was always out of position. I mean, he didn't get to play in the bowl game
right,
because
but
he's stupid.
now he's but like those were all things that he kind of did to himself. Like now he's gotten 4 other people involved in his shenanigans.
True.
So, yeah. So Devin Studstill. I feel okay about Drew Tranquil. The only thing is like he's had 2 kind of non-contact knee injuries.
Everyone who doesn't remember, he's the guy who hurt himself celebrating.
Yeah, he jumped up in the air and landed and tore up his knee. I was
having a great game at the time.
He was playing amazing, and jumped in the air, landed, and tore up his knee.
Poor kid.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what the thing is too, like he handled it like super well. Like he's gonna be a captain this year for sure. So, but yeah, so I mean, the corner position, I feel good about. The safety position, I don't feel good about.
It just seems thin all the way through, though, regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
So now let's jump it down to linebacker. Are all the linebackers gone? No, Romeo Okwara's still there.
Romeo Okwara is not still there. He is playing for the New York Giants.
He's not? Oh my gosh! I saw that on Twitter today.
He was a lineman anyway, but James Onwualu, the Sam linebacker, like the drop linebacker, he returns.
I don't remember him. I'm not gonna lie.
He's not a guy like most people would remember, but he's one of those people. Like I honestly think that like seniors tend to show up and have like, they can have the best seasons of their career in their senior year.
They're like 2 years older than everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's just like, so you just show up and you play, right? And so I feel good about him. And then at Mike, well, I'll go to the Will. So the weak side linebacker, it looks like Greer Martini is going to start.
That's who I was thinking of.
Tavon Coney was probably going to start.
Now, he's the one who hurt himself missing a tackle in the Fiesta Bowl. Is that who Coney was?
I don't know if he was missing a tackle. He definitely hurt his shoulder, though.
He got in for one play, then hurt himself?
It wasn't one play, but it was very soon after.
It was like under 5 plays.
Himself. Yeah. So he was vying for the starting position, and everyone feels really good about him, but he is also embroiled in this situation, so we don't know where he's going to be. And then there's Asmar Bilal, who people feel really good about too, but it looks like it's going to be Martini. And then at the middle linebacker, replacing the much maligned Joe Schmidt, will be Niles Morgan. And I think he's going to be awesome too.
So. I believe you wrote a piece about Niles Morgan.
I did. I wrote a piece about him, and then I wrote like he's kind of been mentioned in like 3 other articles since then. So I did like so the way Notre Dame runs their defense is they feature the middle linebacker, which was infuriating last season because
he wasn't their best player.
Because our best player on the team played not middle linebacker. So it's like, why don't you feature that guy? But now that one of our better players plays middle linebacker, it's like he's gonna have a lot of opportunities to make plays. He's a really good athlete. He's really big. He's really thick. He's really athletic. So I feel like if he gets the same opportunities that Joe Schmidt will get, then it'll be, it puts the Notre Dame defense in a much better position.
So now, would you say that Notre Dame linebackers are thin or just unknown? If you had to go one way.
You mean thin like depth-wise?
Yeah, thin like depth-wise or just unknown quality?
I mean, it's a little of both. Like, if something happens to Niles Morgan, I feel like Greer Martini can play the Mike. He can play the middle linebacker. He can't play it like Niles Morgan does. It's just like the ceiling of the defense just goes down dramatically. I feel like there are unknown because like we project what Niles Morgan can do, but he also couldn't play ahead of Joe Schmidt. So,
but they loved Joe Schmidt.
Personally, I think that has a lot more to do with the fact that like, Joe Schmidt can get him quote unquote lined up and all that other hocus pocus.
Right.
But
he's a walk-on.
Yeah, I think, but like just looking at the depth chart, like they are thin and they are unknown.
That's not inspiring.
Yeah, like for an outsider, you look at it and you think like, I don't know who these guys are, and they don't have a lot of depth, so like they're probably terrible. But I follow the team, so I feel I'm a little bit more optimistic than someone who casually follows the team, I guess.
All right, fair.
Yeah.
So what'll probably be the strength of the defense is the defensive line.
Yeah, so they've got Isaac Rochelle, who will probably be a captain. He's like a 3-year starter. He's a senior. They have Jerron Jones, who was injured most of last season. He'll be a starter. They have Jerry Tillery.
He played in the bowl game, right? And then he got like an interception or something.
Well, he tipped the ball that ended up being intercepted. You have Jerry Tillery of the Showtime series fame.
One of the stars of
for his
Showtime series.
For his like I'm with Hillary shirt or whatever.
And travels to Ireland or something.
Travels to Ireland, and then in the spring he was a campaign manager for like one of the student body president hopefuls or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
And also didn't play in the Fiesta Bowl.
Also didn't play in the Fiesta Bowl because I don't know why.
I think
he wasn't doing
okay.
something right. Yeah.
I'm
sure he'll be fine.
I think he'll be okay.
Like this is one of those teams like they'll be good against the run because they won't get a pass rush, so they won't be like flying up the field and backs will be running inside them. Like they'll be stalemating at the line of scrimmage, so they should be good against the run. One of the biggest wild cards on the team is this Dalen Hayes kid, who was a USC commit.
I remember that.
He's getting some pretty rave reviews.
Now, he was hurt though, right? Or something was wrong with him?
Yeah, he had his shoulder. And right now he's, showing no ill effects from that. He was held out of the spring, but he's been full go for the fall. And, I mean, by all accounts, he's been tearing it up. So they need someone like him to...
Now, he was the kid who had the Batman recruiting video, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, like Bleacher Report is now like they have some partnership with Notre Dame.
I thought I saw that.
I can't really explain it because it's not totally clear to me, but they have some affiliation with Notre Dame. I don't know what it is, but I mean, it can't be bad. At least just from an exposure standpoint.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Right, Donald? Hey-o.
Oh. And then what about Trombretti? Andrew Trombretti, he's like a junior who's probably going to get a lot of run.
He's...
Oh, you don't like that?
There's just not a lot. Like, there's buzz around him. It's not all the best buzz. Let's just say, like, if he does get a lot of run, then something happened to somebody.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not doing so well right now.
Okay. All right.
There's always hope.
I mean, it's fall. It's summer.
It's summer, yeah. They've got 2 weeks to prepare, so.
Yeah, anything could happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so who do you think will be the star of this defense?
Sean Crawford. I mean, honestly, no. It'll be Niles Morgan.
You think?
Yeah. He's going to be involved on it, like, close to every play. Like,
that's true. I mean, that's the idea, right?
All the plays that Joe Schmidt didn't make last year, like Niles Morgan will get the chance to make this year.
And maybe get a sack or two and an interception.
Yeah, just mix them in.
All right.
Mix in a little tackle for loss here and there.
I honestly have no idea who the best player is going to be.
I think he'll be the best player on the defense. I think the breakout star will be like Sean Crawford.
You can pick Sean Crawford for that one.
I'm gonna pick Sean Crawford for like all the awards. I would have picked Sean Crawford for the offensive award.
Frankly. If they let him play.
Well, I mean, I just think he's gonna find a way to score multiple touchdowns.
I mean, he could. They're a little thin. Let me tell you. When we get to USC's wide receiver, I got some issues with what they do.
I'm telling you, bro.
All right. So let's bang out the schedule real fast. What do you think? What are you thinking for Notre Dame?
Well, okay, so just like going out through the schedule, like that's hard because I know there's so much influx with like every team right now, right? Like we don't know who is starting for a lot of teams, and we don't know. Like there's so much we don't know. Like so, Notre Dame opened the season at number 10. Like that came out today.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned that yet. Good job, us.
Yeah, so Notre Dame opened 10th. Like if they finish the season 10th, then that means they lost at least twice, possibly 3 times. So, like, I don't think they could go 10-2 and then win the bowl game and go 11-2 and then finish 10th. I think they would be higher than that.
Okay.
So, I also don't think they could go like I don't think they could go 11-1 and lose the bowl game and finish 10th. So, like, you're probably looking at either like a 3-loss team that was 10-2 and lost in the bowl game and finished 10th, or they were a 9-3 team, won the bowl game and rose up to number 10.
But one of the fun things I read today was that Notre Dame is playing almost exclusively teams with a first-time quarterback.
Yeah.
So that's a real bonus for them.
That's good for them. So I guess like if they finish the season 10th, then you're probably looking at a 3-loss team. In which case, like, that's spinning your wheels. I don't care about that.
Well, who are they losing to, though?
But that's the thing. Like, who knows, right?
That's true.
Like,
Michigan State, maybe. Stanford, maybe.
Michigan
Miami,
State,
maybe.
Miami. I mean, Miami has a pretty good quarterback. You know,
The USC Trojans.
USC. I mean, you're on the road at Texas. First of all, like you have all this turmoil. You're probably not going to have like any of those 7 guys. Like 3 of them we know we're not going to have. The other 4 maybe, but probably not. So it's like you're already down 7 people going into the first game against a team that you humiliated last year. So they probably don't feel super good about that.
No, they probably don't. But they're still Texas. Actually, they finished really strong last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like they'll beat Notre Dame and then they'll lose the next 3. So like where do the losses come from? I don't know. I will say that since I've been alive, they've managed to find some losses on every schedule except for one.
All right, pick a final prediction here for the season.
For like the record?
Yeah, I'm making you choose.
I'm gonna say 11-2.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm just gonna change it. I'm gonna go 10-3 just to be different.
All right, fine.
Fine, but they probably lose. No, you know what? I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna go 12-1.
Oh my God.
I'm bumping
So
it up.
wait. So tell me how it happens then. Are they undefeated in the regular season and then lose in the playoffs?
Oh, that's true, huh? To get the 1 loss, they have to.
Yeah.
Right,
Or like they can't be 12. Like if they win the thing, they have to be at least. If they get to the final game, they have to have at least 13 wins.
right. Oh.
I mean, look, if you say they're undefeated and lose in the playoffs, like that's probably the most likely scenario, honestly. Because of the teams that they play on their regular season schedule, like I don't like just looking at them right now, I don't consider any of them to be of the upper echelon in college football. With all due respect,
one of those teams is ranked number 20.
I'm just saying, like all right, number 20, like you said, right? Number 20. Like that's not like Alabama. That's not Ohio State.
No, that's true.
So I could totally see Notre Dame kind of like catching a break with their schedule, and they don't have any good quarterbacks, and then they get to the playoffs and they're like number 2, and they play number 3 and they lose.
All right, that's what I'm going with.
All right.
You did my scenario for me, but that's what I'm going with.
Perfect.
All right, let's flip it. Here we go. It's time to talk about the USC Trojans.
Yes, sir.
And there's no better. The depth chart came out today, but the big news came out yesterday, and that's the starting quarterback. Coach Clay Helton chose Max Brown over redshirt freshman Sam Darnold.
Boring.
And I am hurt. I'm personally hurt. I'm hurt by a lot of things. I could go on for a while.
Do you take this as a personal affront?
I do. So everything I read about Sam Darnold could be special, different dimension to the game, just as good as Max Brown in practice. All things that would make me believe that this is the quarterback of the future. This is
Yeah.
this is the best quarterback on the roster. And then the things I hear about Max Brown are good quarterback, strong arm, worried he might transfer. It's like that's why you
What?
named, yeah, because he graduated. So if the concern was if Max Brown wasn't chosen as the starter, he would just leave right now and go start on another team.
But who would take him?
Alabama, Lane Kiffin recruited him. He was the number one quarterback prospect in the nation, ahead of Jared Goff.
You think that
No,
I was
not at all.
Because that honestly, that would be incredible.
That'd be the most Lane Kiffin thing ever.
Incredible. And you know what? Nick Saban would do it. He would do it.
So that was one of the concerns, was that Max Brown would transfer if he wasn't named the starter. But it just bums me out. It's just like, ugh.
But you know what? Like, are you really going to be held hostage by this kid if he's not? Like, this is your program.
Right.
You can't let some kid bully you into starting him. It's like,
No.
oh, I'm afraid he'll transfer.
No, you can't. I think Helton's a player's coach, so he knew the guys liked Max Brown because they know him longer.
Right.
He put the time in, so the other players are like, oh, well, if I put the time in, maybe I get my shot. And it just kills me though, because I just feel like they're not going to win the national title this year. Let's all get out of La La Land and dreams and wishes.
Probably not.
It's not going to happen. They have the toughest schedule in the nation.
They do. And credit to them, by the way.
I love it. I love that they do that.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect time to have your freshman quarterback just learn how to play football. There'd be no pressure. There'd be no expectations. And this kid would be going against great defenses, having to play great offense to compete in the Pac-12. It would be the perfect learning curve for the next 2 years where they say this kid can win a Heisman. That was one of the quotes from Clay Helton when they named the starters. Like, oh, Sam Darnold could win a Heisman. It's like, well, it's like everything they say makes it sound like Sam Darnold is so good. It's like, well, why isn't he the starter? Like, they had to talk themselves into making Max Brown the starter.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Sure.
If you already know that USC is not going to win the national title, then why not? Like, who is USC's first 4 games? I know they're super hard.
It is Alabama.
Okay.
Utah State. Stanford. At Utah. I think I got it right.
At Utah. Okay. And then it kind of eases off, right? A little bit?
But I mean, it's just the Pac-12.
Okay. So I guess this is how I look at it. If you already know that they're not going to win the national championship, then why send Darnold out there against those 4 teams if you already kind of suspect like Alabama's going to kick our ass, and then we have a tough game against Utah State, and then we have to play Stanford, and then we have to play at Utah, who is always tough. Like, why don't we let Max Brown get beat up a little bit, and then let this other kid kind of be the savior for the second half of the season, so that we can build some momentum going into 2017 when he is the guy.
The problem is going to be when they go Arizona State, Colorado, Arizona, Cal, and Max Brown has 300 yards a game with 3 touchdowns, and you can't yank him then.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, let Max Brown fail against the first 4 games, and then it's like, all right, we're going to make a change. And then you bring in the young kid.
See, but then I feel like that's worse almost, because I just want someone to be. I don't want the Notre Dame where you're always looking over your shoulder. I just want you're the starter. Everyone else has to deal with it.
But they're at different points of the.
But what happens when Sam Darnold sucks?
But then he sucks. Right, like okay.
That's true. I mean,
if you say what happens when Sam Darnold sucks, then why are you so upset right now?
Good point. Okay, he won't suck. You're right. But I just feel like, you're just gonna trot him out there in the middle of the season. I guess he'll have more practice time. I see what you're saying. It's just not fun. It's just not.
It's like what's setting him up for greater success? Facing Alabama, Utah State, Stanford, and Utah, or whatever is left?
I mean, it's the same probably. Honestly, like if he's really that good, he's not going to get rattled by losing a couple games, and then he'll even it out as the season goes on.
Yeah.
If he's not that good, well, thank God Max Brown's still around, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
it's just boring. That's what I don't like about it. I just feel like my concern is it's going to set the tempo for the Clay Helton era, and it's just going to be boring, middling teams that probably get to play in Pac-12 title games just because the rest of the teams in the Pac-12 South suck.
Yeah.
And lose to Stanford, lose to Oregon, maybe catch a Rose Bowl here and there with like a 3-loss team. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to make you feel better.
I know.
I don't know.
I'm sure Max Brown will be fine. Honestly, if Sam Darnold wasn't so good, I'd be happy. I'd be like, oh, Max Brown era, here we come.
Yeah.
Like I feel bad for Max Brown actually, because by all accounts he's a good quarterback.
Oh, okay.
But Sam Darnold, 2 interceptions in all of spring and summer practices. 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just makes me mad. But yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine, and he'll be fine because he's throwing to Juju Smith-Schuster.
Stud.
Probably the best receiver in the nation this year. I feel comfortable saying that.
I can't think of anyone else who I would take over him, certainly.
The quotes from the summer practices were, can he stop going so hard? He's going to hurt himself. Always full throttle. Just, things like that. And I love that. I love that about him. Last year, he kind of got slowed down because he broke his hand. Didn't miss any time, but he broke his hand. He's a receiver. He's crazy.
He is very intense.
He fought a teammate last year because he thought he wasn't trying hard enough.
Right.
And that teammate is now buried on the depth chart.
Man.
So he was the starting wide receiver, and I believe every third play or something like that went to Juju Smith last year. Cody Kessler was locked onto him. So hopefully the new quarterback will spread the ball around a little bit more. Or Juju Smith-Schuster will just be that much better and will score more when he gets all the looks. I don't know. The other wide receiver is Darius Rogers, who has been at USC for like 100 years.
So he held off the challenge from all like the young kids and stuff.
He did. He held it up. His backup is actually Jalen Green on the depth chart that came out today.
Really?
Yeah, which is weird. Jalen Green is a former quarterback who actually was trying to play quarterback again over the summer, and I guess just knew he couldn't. So
I was gonna say, didn't we have a conversation where it's like he's going back to quarterback, and that's
no, he's the backup, whatever they call that receiver position on the outside, opposite Juju Smith-Schuster. So I'm kind of over Darius Rogers. I feel like he's always hurt. I feel like he never does anything. If they cycle that position out with all the new guys, that'd be great.
Seems like a poor man's Mike Williams.
But like real poor.
Yeah. Homeless man's Mike Williams.
Yeah, exactly. So then the other fun receiver position is the slot, and that's Steven Mitchell Jr. and Deontay Burnett, who I liked last year. He was a freshman, and he got a lot of run towards the end of the season. So those two guys are going to shuffle around. But I feel like Steven Mitchell got hurt. He scores a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, didn't he have like an ankle or something? It was really
I don't remember, honestly. It was a year ago.
Yeah. Good point.
But he got hurt. So that's the receiving core. One of the things that bugs me, and I kind of mentioned this in the Notre Dame section, is let me pull it up here. Let me count them for you. This is in the USC media guide. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 guys listed who may play wide receiver. And that does not count Jalen Green. That's a lot.
18 guys for 3 spots.
Yeah, for 3 spots. So I'm a little worried about that. The other thing that bothers me is, let's see, 1, 2, 4 of them are also playing cornerback. So there's a receiver named Ajeen Harris, who is now a cornerback and a receiver. Well, that's great because Adoree Jackson's a cornerback and a receiver too.
Right.
Then freshman Jack Jones is a cornerback and a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Then freshman Keyshawn Young is a wide receiver and a cornerback. Like, it just kills me. Like, that's way too many guys playing too many positions.
Yeah, I feel like Adoree Jackson, they let go both ways, and now they had to promise like a bunch of other guys, like, oh yeah, you can be like Adoree Jackson.
Well, I think Ajeen Harris, I'm probably saying his name wrong, is he is like actually they need him to play corner because they're a little thin. So he's like the one going the other way, a wide receiver playing defense, as opposed to defensive guys playing wide receiver. But yeah, and we all know how I feel about Adoree Jackson playing wide receiver.
Well,
I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel like they don't maximize what he can do. Like you know what I mean?
I kind of go the other way in that, like I have a high personal opinion of Jack Jones, and I was gonna wait to say this until we got to the defense, but I guess I'll just bring it up now. Like Adoree Jackson, he's a sophomore this year, right? Or a junior?
He's a junior.
Okay, so he started for 2 years. He has like 1 pick.
1 pick.
And 12 passes broken up.
He did return that interception for a touchdown?
He did. I feel like they should just play him on offense.
I would be okay with that.
Just put him in the slot.
I mean, we talked about this last year. Like
he doesn't make that many plays at corner.
I don't know where this Adoree Jackson shutdown corner talk came from.
And not just that, but they were playing him at safety.
Yeah, they moved him towards against UCLA and stuff.
Like, why just play him on offense? Like, is he better than Steven Mitchell?
Probably.
Yeah, like just I don't get that. Like, play him on offense.
Or
why does he need to play defense?
I don't know. I do feel like if Lane Kiffin were still the coach, Adoree Jackson would get 9,000 screens a game and have like 4 touchdowns a game.
I mean, he's terrifying.
Yeah,
he absolutely is terrifying. And then like at corner, like I mean,
he's not terrifying.
I mean, look, Will Fuller made him look really bad last year, and so it's like that's an elite player. Like how good is this kid if he went up against one of the elite receivers in football and he just got destroyed?
Like he ran right past him. I remember
not just
it
on that play, but just like the whole
game. Like
there was he caught another long pass on him. He had the bad interference penalty that was a deep ball, like. You know, but like the one play he made in that game was on a screen and he went like 900 yards. Like, so I feel like just put him at slot.
I'd be fine with I'm perfectly fine with that. I think this is one thing on this podcast that you will hear probably nowhere else is Adoree Jackson corner talk and if he's good. I think that's something we're gonna watch all season long.
Yeah, for sure.
So USC has tight ends, since we're talking about people who catch the ball.
Yeah.
The kid's Taylor McNamara. He's going to start. And then Taylor, excuse me. I think I said it backwards. Taylor Petit's the backup.
Is it Petite or Petit?
Don't make me get the pronunciation guide out. It's Petite. So do with that as you will.
I think with the E at the end, it's Petite. All right, continue.
Okay. So those are the tight ends. Daniel, here's one. I should get the pronunciation guide out. Daniel Imatora Ibrahi.
Oh my goodness.
He's a tight end who will get some run, and his brother's a freshman wide receiver, which is fun. Oh, we didn't even talk about the freshman wide receivers. There's a million of them, and I don't know who's going to be good. Michael Pittman Jr. He's the son of an NFL player. He will get some time. Maybe I don't know because there's so many guys that can catch the ball. Maybe all the freshmen will redshirt. I have no idea. But he's the one I heard the most about in the spring.
highly doubt that.
right? That's why I'm so mad. There's 18 of them.
They have too many guys who were like highly recruited to sit all of them.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like one of them, like a couple of them have to play.
They just have to. And someone, Stephen Mitchell and Darius Rogers will probably get hurt.
Yeah.
So whatever. So yeah, those are the tight ends. Let's see. Let's keep it to skill. At running back, USC has two really good players in Justin Davis and Ronald Jones II. I got it wrong, didn't I?
He's the third.
At least I got his name right.
He's awesome.
Anyways, so he is back. He's awesome. He's super fast.
Yeah.
He probably isn't going to start, but he might as well be considered the starter.
He will be heavily involved.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to use both these guys. Justin Davis is more the classic tailback who pounds it between the tackles.
Slasher.
Yeah. Probably a better blocker. I don't know. Yeah. That's what they say, at least.
He does all the upperclassmen things.
Exactly. But Jones is the burner. He's going to score 1 million touchdowns. He broke like all Lendell White's freshman records. So he should be really exciting. He looks fast. He looks cool with his dreadlocks and the helmet.
I love the dreads.
And then I like Dominic Davis. I don't know why. I'm attached to him. He is the next guy on the depth chart. There's also Aka Cedric Ware, who played a little bit last year. So those are the two other names you're going to hear when the starters tire. I mean, but then they're probably throwing the ball. So I don't know. One thing I'm really happy about, though, with all the running backs and wide receivers and tight ends, they don't have a real fullback. There is someone on the roster who is called a fullback, but I don't think he's going to get any playing time. And that means I won't be yelling week to week about throwing to the fullback out of the backfield.
Don't need it.
There's just too many good players to waste a play on that. Right. It makes me so mad.
Right.
Like, I get it. Like, he works hard in practice if you're the fullback. If you're the fullback, you block all the time. Like, give him a goal line run. They don't need to waste throwing plays to fullbacks.
Goal line run.
So, and then another interesting thing going into this season is the offensive line. Now, Phil Steele, he is a college football writer. He puts all the preseason teams together. He's pretty famous, right?
Yeah.
I know
who he is.
He said that USC has the best offensive line unit in the nation.
Wow.
Yeah. Their two tackles are good. It's Zach Banner, who's a giant man, just a giant man.
He is a behemoth.
There's a really funny video of him like playing with little kids.
It's pretty great. I've seen it. It's pretty phenomenal.
It's pretty good. So it's all him just trying to go down a slide, and he's like the whole slide. He's just a giant man. So he's the right tackle. And then Chad Wheeler is the left tackle, who I was reading somewhere, and I wish I remember where it was now. They said he was the best. Like the offensive line is anchored by Chad Wheeler. And I thought that was really weird.
Yeah.
Because everyone talks about Zach Banner.
Yeah.
So he had some issues at the end of last season, but he appears to have those all cleared up.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him.
So the tackles are fine. I'm full confidence in those two gentlemen. Now the rest of the offensive line is where I have concern. Like, yes, they're all coming back from last year. Great. But they weren't that great last year.
Uh-huh.
Now maybe some of this is Cody Kessler holding onto the ball for too long. Maybe some of it is injuries because they were shuffling guys in and out of position. But that interior offensive line, I just don't worry. I don't know about it. It's Chris Brown, Toa Lobodon. Via Talia Mavio. I think I missed a syllable there. And the backups are Damian Mama and Nico Fala. Those are probably the guys who will come in. Fun story is the backup center from last year, Khalil Rogers, is now a defensive lineman.
Huh.
So I guess they're deep if they can make a switch like that.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I just feel like the interior of that offensive line is going to be trouble.
I feel like that whole situation is kind of like Notre Dame's offensive line. Like you have the two really good guys, and then the three newbies who like should maybe be good, but you kind of feel like maybe not. Because interestingly, Pro Football Focus ranked Notre Dame the top offensive line in the country. And frankly, I mean, I don't really give any weight to any of this because it's just people writing.
Yeah, once the games start.
Right, but but it's like you could say the same about Notre Dame. It's like, well, they have Mike McGlinchey and Quentin Nelson, and then a bunch of guys who haven't really played. So, like honestly, like I hear a lot of talk about how like USC's offensive line this and that, and you know, like last year they were supposed to be struggling and they had a bunch of injuries, but it's like I think we both talked about like the problem with the running game for USC was that they didn't use it.
That is true.
Like I don't know. Ronald Jones, like I don't remember him having a bunch of trouble last year finding holes, or Justin Davis for that matter.
Right.
So, I mean, I expect them to be strong. I
I'm
always
hoping
feel
that Cody Kessler was the problem.
I mean, just generally, like the play calling was the problem, right? I mean,
Right.
You know, not enough running, too much passing.
Well, that was my favorite. Is when Clay Helton got the job. Is those first couple games was all running.
By the way, I owe you an apology. I just looked it up. Ronald Jones is the second.
I know. I wasn't going to correct you.
Thank you, Mike. I corrected myself.
I thought I called him Ronald Johnson, something I did all of last year.
Oh, I see. I thought he was the third. That makes me sad.
It's Ronald Griffin is the third. We're thinking of.
Well, no, his name is not Ronald Griffin.
I mean, not Ronald.
Robert Griffin.
Robert Griffin. Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
So I'm gonna try some quick math here.
Okay.
So last year, Ronald Jones and Justin Davis combined for, let's see, 1,889 yards, 15 touchdowns on about 312 carries.
Okay.
So it's like you're looking at about 6 yards a carry. You know, 140 yards a game from these two guys.
I like it.
Yeah,
It should be a little more, I guess.
The problem. And Trey Madden was a 5.3 a carry guy, 5 touchdowns. Like the running game wasn't the problem last year. You know, it was largely Cody Kessler, but mostly like just too much passing, not enough running.
Too much bad passing.
Yeah.
Like, look, I can get behind throwing the ball around. Don't get me wrong.
You know, like when you have 2 good tackles, that's usually a good start. I feel like USC will figure it out.
Good. I hope so.
Yeah.
Let's see. So let's see. Who do you think is going to be the star? It's obviously Juju Smith, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a dumb question at USC. He's
Yeah.
one of the best players in the nation.
For sure.
So if he's not their best player on offense, someone is either going to win the Heisman or something went terribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Breakout star candidate, probably Ronald Jones II, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's not really a breakout if you broke all of USC's freshman rushing records.
I mean, it's a breakout in the sense that, like, hey, this guy's a good freshman. Hey, this guy ran for like 1,400 yards, and like we hope we win with him next year because he won't be on the team, kind of thing. Like,
see, that's another thing that bothers me about no Sam Darnold is what happens when Ronald Jones is really good. Like, are they just going to keep feeding Justin Davis the ball because he's kind of good? Like, that's the precedent that I feel is being set. Is that, hey, put your time in and we'll make sure you get some run. Don't worry.
I think it's a little different with.
I know. I'm just being difficult.
Okay.
But that is a concern. Like I just feel like is going to seep into all of Clay Helton. Is let's just be safe. Let's be fair. Let's be just real conservative here.
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh, great. You're right. We're not Hollywood. All right, let's flip over to defense. I've been lamenting the offense too long, and I have a lot to say about the defense too.
All right.
I want to start on a positive.
Okay.
So there's a new defensive coordinator this year, Clancy Pendergrast.
Well, sort of new.
Sort of new. He was the defensive coordinator in 2013, and he's back this year. Last year's defensive coordinator was Justin Wilcox. Now I'm going to tell you what I'm happy about. So, in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills drafted Kevon Seymour. And by all accounts, he is doing great in preseason.
Okay.
And one of the reasons is he got his eyes checked, and he needed corrected vision. He needed to correct his vision. So I'm hoping that Clancy Pendergrast is a smart enough person to have the ability to get his players' eyes checked. Like, this was a guy who was always just kind of okay at USC. And if he could see, I could only imagine what he could have done. He would have been a great corner. And it just blows my mind. This guy played all 4 years at college, and no one knew he couldn't see. That's a double negative.
Okay, wait. Okay, so I played college football at, I played junior college football at Long Beach City, and this has nothing to do with my ability to play football, and has everything to do with the fact that I know that before every season we had to have a physical. And a part of that physical was an eye test.
All I know is he got his eyes checked. Seymour became a Buffalo Bill. Now he can see. Now he's getting rave reviews.
Like, this isn't. I don't think this is a Justin Wilcox issue. I feel like this is a
institutional problem.
Yeah, like this is a USC athletic training problem, because like our coaches weren't involved in that. You know, like. What? Like, I don't get it. Like, I had to stand there. It was just like at the DMV. Like, we stood on the thing and we're like, read the friggin' sign.
I don't know, man.
This is how I know my vision is so good.
I mean, maybe they just went bad last year, and my eyes went real fast.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe it was like maybe they just kind of mailed it in every time, or maybe look, there's probably a way for him to get out of the eye test if he didn't, like, if he felt subconscious about it or something like that.
Or like he just knew the answers, or he heard the guy in front of him, or
yeah, like he didn't want to have bad eyes or whatever, and then he got to the pros and they were like, no, for real, like read the line. Yeah.
So I'm embarrassed about the past regime. High hopes for the new regime.
Okay.
So an article I'm going to link to in the show notes is from Conquest Chronicles, because you're going to hear about Clancy's 5-2 defense. And I wasn't sure until the depth chart came out today, like what players were going to play where, and what's really a defensive end and what's a linebacker, and all that stuff. So they actually had a really good article. It talks about gaps, defensive gaps, positions, 3-4s, 4-3s. It's a great feeder article for anyone who's curious about defense in general. So it's very helpful. And on the 5-2. So it's 5 defensive linemen. Yeah. And what it looks like is there are really three real defensive linemen. Then some kind of tackle and 2 ends, I guess, for lack of a better term, who play over the tackle. And then 2 outside linebackers who are called defensive linemen. So it's like a 3-4. But one of the outside linebackers is called the Predator. And that's the big position. So he just kind of wreaks havoc. That's his job. The Predator's job is to just cause chaos in the offensive backfield. So I think that was like Clay Matthews' kind of position.
Yeah.
To give some kind of perspective on what it does. So that's Porter Gustin, who some people raved about last year. They thought he had all the tools. He was a big recruit out of Utah.
Daniel Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Loved him.
So he will be the Predator. And then the other defensive end guy, who's really a linebacker, is Ochia Nwosu. So he played last year. Everyone's pretty sure he'll do fine. So I guess that's like the weak side linebacker.
Okay.
is for terms and other defenses. So now what bugs me though is the defensive line is there's a transfer from Utah. He's going to start right away at nose tackle. Stevie Tua Ikolavatu.
Okay.
I think I got pretty close on that one. And then, so what bothers me is there's this predator position. So it's like a hybrid outside linebacker defensive end. And then there's these regular defensive ends.
Okay.
And I feel like they have a lot of good players playing predator, like on the depth chart.
Okay.
And that makes me think that they aren't going to play defensive end. And I worry that these defensive ends are going to be garbage.
Who?
So all the guys, you've like Porter Gustin, he's the predator, right? So this
Okay.
guy named Don Hill, he's had a really good spring. He's the backup predator. And then freshman Batiku from Sarah,
Oh yeah.
he's the backup predator as well.
He's playing Predator.
Yeah, see, I thought he'd be a real defensive end.
That's interesting.
And maybe because it's easy, or I don't know about easy, probably not the right word.
No. It's. I know what you're saying.
Like there's not a lot of reads. Like you're not asking.
Yeah, like
so it's a true freshman.
Like you're either like dropping or you're rushing.
Yeah. So maybe that's why he's there. I don't know. And then there's another freshman. His name's Connor Murphy, and his brother is Trent Murphy from Stanford, who's now a Washington Redskin. And he's like really tall. He's like 6'7". And I heard him body type wise compared a little to J.J. Watt. And it's like, well, why doesn't he play defensive end? He's this big, tall guy. He was batting down balls in practice. And I felt like that was a guy who could get some run, but there's this logjam at this predator position, and it worries me.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like there's a lot of talent playing predator, whereas just try guys at other positions. Like you're so thin at defensive line that you got a center switch over. Like just try things out. And I'm sure, like when they go to nickel fronts, maybe it'll be like two outside linebackers at defensive end. And who knows what they'll throw out there. It's supposed to be some of this aggressive defense. They'll try different things. Or on passing down, if they move everyone inside and bring another rusher in. I don't know. But I just don't like it. I just feel like there's a logjam at predator. Like I want to see Batiku play. And if Porter Gustin's as good as he's supposed to be, like he's never going to play.
Well,
it just makes me sad.
All I can say about that is Notre Dame's had a lot of guys they recruited who were supposed to be really good and were not. Ergo Redfield Max, but so I mean, it's like Notre Dame's situation with the Will, like they have this guy Asmar Bilal who's running third team who like everyone was super excited about. And it's like now he's third team Will. Like
what happened?
So is he not gonna play? Like he's a redshirt freshman now. Like what's going on? You know, and they have a bunch of safeties who like safety / like hybrid linebacker kind of thing. Like the Keanu Neal kid from Florida. Or like the kind of like hybrid linebacker safety position that's kind of like a big thing in the NFL now.
Sua Cravens for
exactly.
the USC fans out there.
Exactly, yeah. And he's got they have like 6 guys on the roster that are like that, and it's like, well,
who's gonna play? Someone's gonna play.
Like yeah, so
someone's gonna be a linebacker.
Sam. Like they already have a Sam and they already have a safety. Like they can't cover. But they're not big enough to play linebacker. So, like, what are they going to do?
Yeah, that's how I feel about this outside linebacker situation.
Yeah.
Inside linebacker's fine. Cameron Smith, he was a favorite from last year. He was freshman All-American. So, he's back from the injury. He'll be great. The other inside linebacker is the senior, Michael Hutchings, and allegedly the sophomore, Osa Messina from Utah. He's going to take over halfway through the season because he's supposed to be a big-time recruit. So they figure they'll groom him into a starter, whatever. It'll be fine.
Like they should do with the quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. I'm really mad about it for quarterback. But a linebacker, sure, great, groom him. It's like, whatever. But no one's saying that Osa Messina is going to win a Heisman.
This is true.
Okay, then the defensive backfield is pretty solid. Amon Marshall, another freshman All-American, who's really the best corner on USC's defense, regardless of what parade All-Americans, Street and Smith say. Adoree Jackson will be the other corner. Jack Jones is going to get some time. He's a true freshman. He's supposed to be really good. Long Beach Poly. And let's see. So then the safeties is kind of fun because they have a lot of guys who are going to play. They have Chris Hawkins. He's going to start. And then Leon McQuay III. He's probably going to play a lot. And you'll know all these guys from last year if you're a USC fan.
They've got some great names.
And John Plattenberg is hurt, so he's not on the depth chart right now, but he'll probably get a lot of time at safety. And then Marvell Tell III will also. So there's two safeties who are the third.
Marvell Tell III is just spot on, phenomenal. I love it.
He's a sophomore.
Is great. No, he's a tall guy, right? Like tall, kind of lanky.
Yeah. He was a freshman last year.
So I'm in on Marvell Tell III.
Yeah, me too. But Plattenberg is going to play a lot. And there's another guy, Yakili Ross, who's a redshirt freshman who'll get some time. Then there's CJ Pollard, whose dad was a Trojan in like the late 80s, early 90s. And he has a fun name. I like his name. And he's a true freshman. He might get a little bit of time too.
Okay.
But safety seems fine. I trust safety. I trust the DBs, which is good.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel good about the defense in general, except for the defensive line.
I think by and large you should feel good about the whole team.
Yeah.
Except
they're ranked number 20.
Your little quarterback situation.
But really, it's college football. There's new quarterbacks all the time.
Right.
I could talk myself into it. If it was Sam Darnold, I'd totally talk myself into it.
Right.
But just because I want the other guy, I'm not sold.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think they'll be all right. New sort of specialists. We didn't talk about that for Notre Dame. Notre Dame has great specialists with their kicker and their punter. USC's place kicker is the guy from halfway through last season.
Oh, okay.
So his dad was the UCLA kicker. If you're curious, was named Matt Bomeister. So he'll come back. I think he's left-footed too, which is fun.
Oh, that is fun.
I know. And then I don't remember who the punter is. Good job, USC fan. But he's new, and he's the starting punter on the depth chart is not the punter who's on scholarship, which is fun.
That is great.
Yeah, thanks.
That's an that's a Lou Holtz tradition from the early 90s, late 80s.
Just have two punters, one of whom was on scholarship, but not the one who kicks
I think there was a run there where like every year for 5 years the kicker was like a walk-on soccer player.
I mean, why recruit specialists, right?
That's Lou right there.
All right, so let's see. Defense, who's the best player on defense? I got to go with Cameron Smith. Right? I want it. Breakout star Porter Gustin, the linebackers. USC's famous for linebackers. If they're going to right the ship,
it's hard to disagree with that.
Somehow, it's probably going to happen to linebacker.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me guess the record here. I mean, I think these guys are going to be 1-2 going into week 4. So.
Okay.
Man, I don't know. Let's see. Well, first I got to figure out, do they make the Pac-12 title game? I'm going to say yes. Okay. I don't like UCLA, not just because they're USC's rival. I just don't. Drew Rosen's great, but
Josh.
Damn. The later this gets, the worse I get with the names. Josh Rosen. Who's Drew Rosen? That's Drew Rosen's like half of a sports agency.
I think you're Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking
of. Anyways, Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen's great and all, but I think USC's better than UCLA. They'll probably lose to Notre Dame. It just kills me. It just kills me to say that. They'll probably lose to Oregon. Ugh. But I still think they make the Pac-12 title game. because they'll win the South. They'll do okay in the South.
Right. So you have them losing to at least Stanford and Oregon, but both
Right.
of those teams are in the North.
So that they'll be okay there. They'll
So I
probably
guess do you have them beating Utah?
yeah.
So you have them beating Utah and UCLA.
Cal's the North. Arizona, both Arizona schools and Colorado.
Okay.
And I don't think Washington's all that good, even though they're ranked pretty high.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, like, look, they're gonna lose to one of those teams.
Right.
But then they could also beat like Stanford, for example. They could win a game that you don't really expect.
Stanford's gonna be good, man.
Why do you think that?
Because they have Christian McCaffrey. That guy's good.
Eh. Like, dude, no, like they put up. I mean, like he didn't do anything against Notre Dame, and like they won because of Kevin Hogan and a bunch of guys who aren't on the team anymore.
True.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I mean, maybe I guess. Where's the game?
At Stanford.
It's at Stanford. That's not great.
So they'll win 8 games. Way to go, Clay Helton.
I'm gonna put them down for 9-3.
Oh, all right. You have a little more faith than me.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll win one of the Stanford or Notre Dame games?
Yeah.
One of those
probably.
two.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately.
I mean, we'll get into Alabama next week, but I think that's a loss.
I don't know, man. Like, Alabama doesn't have a quarterback yet.
True.
So,
We'll get into all that next week. All right, you got him for 9. I got him for 8. I'm a little down. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
Yeah, you think I'd be a little more. If I believe in the quarterbacks, I'd be a little more excited.
I mean, I got my team at 11-2, and 7 guys just got
suspended.
Yeah. You should be a little more optimistic.
I'm just being a real. It's the hardest schedule in the nation, man.
I don't like it when people say they're being realist.
Okay.
You're just being pessimistic.
I'm being pessimistic.
Because there's no such thing as being real. Like, there's no real. Like, you're just there's 2 ways to look at it. There's the pessimistic way, and there's an optimistic way. There's no real. We're projecting.
Right. Fair enough. All right. Anything we missed for the season preview? Either team.
I don't think so. I'm afraid to say.
What we missed. I mean, we have 20 more weeks of this.
We do.
So don't worry.
We do. Hopefully someone's not getting arrested right now as we speak. That would be
Sunday. Great. I mean, come on, I think everyone's a little too classy to get arrested on Sundays. Can't wait.
I hope so.
See what's on Twitter when we stop this.
Yeah.
After that comment.
Shush. Well, either way, I'm glad to be back.
Oh, it's great to be back. Great to have football back.
Exactly.
The best sport in all the land.
Exactly.
So I guess this is where we leave it. We'll be back next week to preview Texas and Alabama for our respective teams. Greg, fight on.
Go Irish.